Texting. Hello, Mr. BBD.
Oh,
How are you, Mr. BBD? How are you, sir?
Started quick, kind of like the Packers.
Tom, tell us we will die like dogs. Tell us we will die like dogs.
We will die like dogs.
No! We will not die like dogs, Tom. We will fight like lions!
Okay.
Lions! Speaking of lions.
They won.
Welcome back to the SAC IDD. For those of you I don't disagree, the redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo, the highly questionable one. Highly questionable picks this weekend by me. This one was on his game. Segment one, NFL recap. We talked about this the other night, and he was right. This weekend was a real downer. There was one game. There was one, and it was the one I just brought up, which was a dawning until the end. That one lived to the billing. The other ones, talk about major disappointment, and I don't know where you want to start first, because honestly, I'm happy with all of them because I hate every fucking one of these teams.
Let's just start with the first game. Because,
Cleveland.
That was as disappointing as it gets.
Cleveland, really. And again, you can get mad at Joe Flacco all you want, but Joe Flacco's done shit like this before. But that defense, talk about not getting off the plane. And honestly, even if you take away Flacco's 2 picks, and I think one went back, actually both went back, 2 went back for touchdowns. They still lost 31-14. They still gave up 31 points. So, look, I don't know if this is they suck or, and now here's the other thing, or
give props.
This CJ Stroud, I don't want to say it. I don't want to jinx him, but who am I kidding? Of course I want to jinx him. He's the next Tom Brady.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
Don't say he's the next Tom Brady.
He's the next Tom Brady.
No, he's not. He doesn't have to be.
He doesn't have to be. He has to be the first CJ Stroud. And by the way,
that's right. He's on his way to doing that.
This kid is no rookie. This kid is no rookie. Nobody just, no. Because the thing is, all the skill, now, again, we talked about the rosters last week. They got a lot of veterans on the roster, but all their skill position guys are first, second, third year max. They're all young, and they're all inexperienced. So to come out there and do what they did, look, as much as D'Amico Ryan, he has to be coach of the year.
Fucking amazing.
He has to be coach of the year. He has to be. He just has to be.
That game can't even play into it.
No,
he's by far the coach.
Because this team doesn't play like a team that was 3 and whatever they were last year.
Dude,
or 4
last year, Lovie Smith got fired for winning a game.
Yeah.
And this year, with all that dysfunction that they've had for years, Bill O'Brien was there, was dysfunctional.
Yeah. But they made the playoffs a couple times.
They did. But then they had all the Deshaun Watson bullshit.
Yeah, he
got rid of him.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson.
In comes, how lucky are they?
Maybe they draft well.
I know.
Because
you're right.
They had to get these picks right. They did.
It's true.
So,
to go from Deshaun Watson, who, when he first came into the league, everybody fell in love with him too.
And talent-wise?
He seemed like, talent-wise, but also like, he was like a guy who always talked about his mom, taking care of his mom.
Now, on the surface, he appeared to be that dude.
He was great.
He did.
And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, this guy's a little weird.
And then we found out where the bodies were buried. And
no, he wasn't a murderer.
No, but it's a figure of speech. I'm just saying.
He was not nice to
me. The man is down and dirty, and not in a good way.
No.
So, by the way, his punishment for that was $230 million guaranteed.
255.
Whatever the fuck it was. The bottom line is he should have been in a jail cell where he should have been. Okay, but no, he's not. And by the way, he has not lived up to that contract at all. But
not even close.
But Houston has certainly got the better of this deal.
What a trajectory
they have got the better of this deal because they got a kid who is already everything Deshaun Watson ever was. And he hasn't played a full season yet. He's already everything that guy ever was. Yeah. And he's 22, 23. So, and the thing is, I can't wait to see this game, them in Denver, because again, Cleveland's defense, Cleveland's defense was every bit as good as Baltimore's. This kid doesn't flinch. Yeah, he doesn't flinch.
Here's what I'm unsure about is, and it's basically what you brought up, is it as bad as Cleveland was, or do we have to give credit? But there was 2 plays in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. One, the tight end ran a deep post. Post is inside, right?
Yes.
So he runs a deep post, but he jab steps to the corner before he does it.
Yeah.
And the safety literally ran to the corner. Like, didn't flinch to the corner. Like, just turned his hips and took off to the corner.
Yeah.
And Schultz, who's not a fast.
No.
Just not a burner.
But he is cagey.
Well, he knows how to run a route.
He's cagey.
But, but you get beat deep. He's wide open in the end zone. Before that, I think it was before that. They throw a short 10-yard screen pass to, I think, the backup tight end.
Yeah.
And he runs for 60 yards.
I mean,
nobody catches. Like, that's 14 points on 2 plays. The one to Schultz was probably 30 or 40 yards, and the one to the tight end was 60-something yards.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We never heard of that tight end before either.
No. And that was C.J. Stroud making a good decision.
But see, that's the other thing. This kid is not – he'll throw it to a guy no one's heard of, which is why he reminds me of Brady.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he made the right decision, but at the same time, why was there such a breakdown in that defense?
Well, probably because they didn't have him on the scouting report. Because nobody was talking about this guy before he caught the touchdown. I mean, I'm telling you,
but nobody on that side of the field could tackle him. But it's more than that.
I'm not saying they should have made missed tackles. I get that, but the bottom line is he was not the guy they were trying to stop.
Well,
and the thing is, there's two. This is why I keep making. And look, not for nothing. Okay, the kid comes from Ohio State. Their rival is Michigan, who played at Michigan. Brady. Okay. The defensive coordinator came from San Fran, defensive stalwart, okay? The the Patriots head coach, defensive coordinator from the Giants, stalwart. Who were 2 rivals back in the 80s? Giants, Niners. This thing's got fucking dots all over it, Tom. Dot.
What the fuck lines
I'm talking about the symmetry.
You're like, C.J. Stroud, where'd he go? Ohio
symmetry.
State. And what is in Ohio?
I'm saying, Tom, what is
There's
Ohio?
a brick road in Ohio. Do you know where it leads? It leads to
Ann Arbor,
and
Michigan.
You know who Bill Belichick is?
Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Tom Brady once resided. Okay, that's my point.
He just drives the next time.
That's my point. Now, I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that the dots here are crazy. There's a lot of them. Okay, I'm not saying he's the next Tom Brady. There'll never be a Tom Brady, but he could be the first C.J. Stroud, and that could be an all-time great if this kid stays healthy and continues to progress. And I don't think Matt Patricia will be anywhere near that facility next year, so I got my money on him progressing. Okay?
Good for them for coming to play. And the minute they put the pressure on the Browns, the Browns folded it up.
They folded like a cheap fucking suit.
As soon as the Browns go, oh shit, these guys are going to score on us today? It was just like, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, and then Flacco, look, he...
Yikes.
Yeah, we should have known it was the clock struck midnight. This was too good to be true. But
that's what the kids call a big yikes.
Big yikes. But anyway, look, that was just one of many disappointments this weekend. I mean, honestly, the fucking... What was the next one that was...
The next one was Kansas City, Miami.
Well, yeah.
Miami's offense showed.
Here's the thing. Is this coach really that good? Because again, we talked about the Front Runner Bowl back in December, which was Dallas and Miami. Miami won it by the skin of their teeth. And we said, well, Dallas is the bigger front runner. That doesn't mean Miami's not a front runner, because they clearly are. Okay? And they went in there with more weapons, and that game plan was a fucking joke. They never attacked them vertically. You have the fucking cheetah. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, couldn't throw the ball.
Then do a deep in cut. You don't have to go all the way down the field. You go 20 yards down the field.
The deep ball he threw to Tyreek.
Oh yeah,
that was a duck.
That was a dying quail.
And Tyreek had to come back on it.
Yeah.
Catch it, make a move on 2 guys, and get in the end zone because he's amazing.
This guy's such a fucking genius. I mean, he's a ball boy from Denver.
Baylor, Kansas State going OT.
Yeah. OT, yeah.
Or was that?
That was Baylor, Kansas State.
Or was that halftime?
It was halftime.
That was halftime.
Still tied. By the way, we're watching college hoops, and we just got finished Philadelphia down Denver tonight, 123-115 in Philly. Denver comes to Boston Friday night. We'll talk about that in segment 2. But anyway, back to segment 1, back to the football. Yeah, I mean, look, these fucking games, I mean, honestly, it was just...
I think the weather impacted that.
I mean, they did, but you know what? Miami, and again,
minus 27.
Miami's defense showed up. They kept them in that game for as long as they could. The dam finally broke because Miami kept going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And eventually your defense gets gassed. And that's what happened.
But Kansas City was also doing enough. Every time they got in a field goal range, they said, fuck it. We don't have to force it.
No.
You can't do shit.
No, can't.
3 points. Boom,
and again, Miami never seemed to adjust offensively. So, because obviously, I don't know if they looked worse in the first half or the second half, because they were bad in both. And while Casey has a good defense, they're not that fucking good. Okay, but they look great. They look fucking great on Saturday night.
They did. How many times did Casey run the ball?
Enough. They ran it enough. Yeah, they ran it enough. They were.
I'm sorry. They did. How many times did Miami? That's what I was trying to ask.
I don't know, but their line never established. Honestly,
because remember, you picked them because you said the difference in their running game versus what the Chiefs
6
were
versus 18
Yeah.
against the run. And the problem is the offensive line did not establish the line of scrimmage. They never did because they were constantly in second and long. And the thing, here's what pisses me off. Teams have known in the past that man was going to run the ball and they couldn't stop it because there's all this motion. There wasn't the motion and the guys and the 5 guys going to different sides and before the ball gets snapped and throwing off the defense and making them rotate. There wasn't a lot of that going on with Miami for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I don't know if it would have made a difference or not. But what I do know is that they did not take advantage of what they do best. Which
76 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's it. It's a
You're
joke.
looking for attempts.
How many attempts?
Wow, that is
It's a joke.
76 yards, man.
For a team that averaged what? Like 140 during the season?
Is that what they average?
Around like between 130 and
Jeez.
140. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay, here we go.
But in any event, they did not establish the run. They were constantly in second and third and long, which allowed the Chiefs to pin their ears back and go get them. The defensive back, Snead, manhandled the cheetah and kept him in line. And look, they had over-the-top help on him. But Jalen Waddle, who was on the field and had some catches, I mean, how many times?
So Mostert rushed it. He had 8 carries. A-Chain had 6 carries.
That's a joke.
Tua had 3, and Waddle had 1.
That's less than 20.
Yeah, that's insanity.
That's how you lose.
That's
how you lose right there. And again, that's play calling. That's coach. I mean, that's
Wow.
awful. With guys, how do you gotta be kidding me? That's
that
so
makes
look.
no sense.
No, but this is why I'm asking: is this guy the right man for the job down in Miami? Because this is 2 years in a row now. They went. Look, if all it takes to beat the Dolphins is get them into a cold weather stadium, and they're done, then this ain't the right man for the job. It's just that simple. If
But
that's
how
all
many
it fucking
times
takes.
has this happened though?
Well, this is 2 years in a row now. And Buffalo couldn't stop the run last year, and they couldn't.
No, dude. Last year they were playing with fucking Skyler.
Who put up how many points?
Yeah, so you got to give them credit for that.
No, their defense didn't show up last year.
He's not a defensive.
Last year was the defense was good on Saturday. They kept him in that game.
Right.
They were. So look, I'm just saying. I don't know if he's the right man for the job.
I think it's kind of early to say that.
I'm not saying you fire him now. The team's young; they're not going anywhere. But I'm saying if they don't get past the first round next year, I mean, fuck, who knows what's going to happen this offseason? Who knows if they're going to be? I mean, listen.
But it's like you want to fire a coach that's gotten you to the playoffs twice in a row after just losing. It's the same thing with some of the other teams where this is happening.
They're just like Dallas. They beat bad teams and they lose to good ones. This wasn't the first time they lost to a good team, and the weather was better when they lost the other games. The only team they beat that had a winning record was the Cowboys. Do you want to go there yet, Tom?
But do you think that's coach?
With
Or is that like talent on maybe the defensive side of the ball?
I don't know what it was. I just know they did not go as far as I thought they should have. And I'm not saying, again, they should have won the AFC East. Now, look, they were ravaged by injuries. That's not coaching. You can't control that. But they lost that game at home to fucking Tennessee when they were healthy.
That's where the game, that's
How the fuck do you lose? You win that game, you're the AFC champs, East champs. Just that one right there.
Their season turned right then.
Yeah, like that. But
Because
again,
Will Levis should not be able to get two basically like
there's no
100 drives, but like length of the field drives
in under 4 minutes.
Under three.
Yeah,
they were up 15 with 3 minutes. I know my fantasy season hinged on it.
Yep. And that defense couldn't.
And that defense cost me
which
an entry.
Again, brings me back to my question: is this the right man for the job? Because they should have won the division this year, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm not saying you fire me. I'm saying if I'm Miami, I'm saying look, just so you know, barring this rabbit, you better win at least one playoff game next year. You better get in. And by the way, the AFC is not getting any easier. Okay, we just talked about the Texans. They're not going anywhere. Cleveland's going to get Deshaun Watson back. Okay, they should be better next year. Okay, they're not going anywhere. Okay, the Patriots have the 3rd pick in the draft, a new coach, and if they get the right GM, they've already got a top 10 defense. What if they draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? Remember, they lost 8 games by 1 touchdown or less. Okay, so they're not going anywhere. Aaron Rodgers is coming back for the Jets. This is not going to get easier for Miami. No. So my thing is this: look, I love the parity and I love the competitiveness, but I'm just saying that they had a shot here to really do something this year, and they pissed it away. And you don't know how many of these you're going to get. Look at the turmoil. Let's skip to that Philadelphia game. By the way, we'll get to the the choke boys in a minute. But that game last night, that team quit on their coach. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were trying. And I'll tell you what. So, halfway through that game, or maybe it was a little further along, I was going to say Jason Kelce needs to retire over the chat. Okay. Instead, I said Jason Kelce needs some help.
No. You made a comment. You did make a comment.
Because his body language, it was as if they lost in the second or third quarter.
That team looked beaten.
They didn't think they could win that game.
Yeah, when they were down 1 touchdown, they looked beaten.
I mean,
which I couldn't understand.
Yeah, it made no sense.
It made no sense to me. Which
Jalen Hurts' energy was boo-hoo-hoo.
Look, and as much as I want to sit there and say, this is all Matt Patricia's fault, the fact is they were sliding before Matt Patricia got on that sideline. And he
took over a sinking ship.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And he's not going to
he's not going to save a sinking ship.
He was there playing the violin with the rest of the Titanic band.
He looked good. He looked good in the garb.
Everybody feel good?
He did look good in the garb.
You guys feel good? Don't worry about that. No, we're not sinking. No, we're not sinking.
Taking on water at all.
Oh, good tackle.
I believe me, Dan Orlovsky picked him apart today on NFL Live. God. Not that it's hard to do.
I sent you a couple of videos of I don't know that guy. Look, his name's Acho. He was tearing him apart. He was like, "Where have we
Sam
seen
Acho?"
He was like, "Where have we seen this defense before?"
Seattle.
Yeah, and he reverses it back to that.
Yep. He's like, "Hey, get a clue, Matt Patricia.
You've gotten beat on this twice for touchdowns."
Look, but I made this comment on the chat today. I said, first of all, this goes beyond Matt Patricia, and it does because somebody hired that fool, which means somebody was dumb enough to hire him. So who was that ass clown? Who made that? I want to know who made that call.
Somebody was saying Sirianni made the calls because they were talking
to hire him
to all the coordinates. Well, maybe not to hire him, but at the end of the season to put him.
That I know. That's Sirianni's fault.
Here's why the Patricia thing is such bullshit. Mm-hmm. The Eagles, to your point about every team in both Eastern divisions, they were playing a gauntlet of fucking games. Yeah. Every team went through it.
Yep.
The Eagles went through it.
And it took its toll.
And, I mean, they got beat up in those 5-6 games.
They did.
But at the end of it, you swap out the D coordinator, so you're not calling plays anymore. And now Patricia gets Seattle, the Giants, like a bunch of cupcakes, and he still does nothing with the defense. No. Because maybe you shouldn't have panicked.
But again, the deal is this.
Maybe you had a guy who was just playing really good offenses.
Booger McFarland said it. They could not draft a defense.
Yeah.
They are really bad at the second and third level. They have no linebackers to speak of, and their secondary outside of Darius Slay sucks. Mm-hmm. You can pick them apart. Look, I knew they were in trouble when the Patriots, literally, Mac Jones threw for 300-plus yards, and he doesn't have the talent around him to do that against that defense, unless that defense isn't very good. That's not a knock on Mac Jones.
The Giants almost beat him twice.
The Giants almost beat them twice. I'm just saying, and again, they don't have a boatload of weapons either. No. I'm just saying, so if teams like that could put them on their heels, then Tampa Bay, who has 2 1,000-yard receivers and Tampa Bay was going to light them up, and they did. And got news for you: if Tampa Bay didn't have 6 drops in the first half, what would that score have been?
It should have been.
It should have been like 50 to. They should have boat raced him. They should have been a bum blast. Philly avoided a bum blasting by the narrowest.
The only thing I will say is Baker Mayfield threw 2 balls that should have been picked, but Philly didn't pick them. They dropped them. So there was a little bit both ways, but the drops were way worse than the picks.
I saw 2 touchdowns.
Mike Evans
I saw 2 touchdowns that were dropped.
How can Mike Evans be that good and drop balls like that?
I don't know, but he did it for Brady too.
It's weird.
I don't know. He does it.
It's really weird.
I don't get it.
Because he's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
But then all of a sudden you're like...
And he drops one, you're like, how do you drop that?
What in the world?
I mean, no, but that's why, look, when you talk about the all-time greats like this Jerry Rice, Gronkowski, these guys never... Any ball hit them in the hands, they fucking caught it. Yeah. Didn't matter what it was, who threw it. If it got to a hand, they fucking caught it. That's it. Okay, and he's a step below them. He's a great player. He's not them, and that's the thing. So, but look, dude, I mean...
When they got stopped on the tush push, that was another gut punch.
That was when I knew it was over.
Yeah, it was like they have no fight.
They have no fight. They never lose the tush push. Never.
If they're trying their hardest,
no way.
If they're I shouldn't say maybe they were trying their hardest, but mentally they were defeated, so they couldn't give all they had.
They were beaten.
When they are, playing like themselves, you cannot stop that.
If I didn't know any better, I remember that they lost 6 of their last 7 games. They are the first 10-1 team to ever do that in the history of the league.
The only game they won was to the Giants, and they won it by the skin of their teeth. Giants.
Yeah. Who were 6-11? Not a terrible team. Giants aren't a terrible team.
No, but I mean, come on.
But they're devoid of weapons.
Yeah, last year
they don't have an offensive line.
Last year they beat us by 30 in the playoffs?
They raised you. Yeah.
Not the same team.
Not the same team. But again, if I didn't know better, that team looked like 11 or 22 Mac Joneses out there. They looked defeated.
Yeah.
That's what they look like. I saw them like, wow.
So
one thing missing is Mac Jones. From
coaching
this.
staff just not doing the right stuff? What
think
is it?
When a team has a collapse like that, it goes above the coaches. You got to look at the GM. You got to look at. I mean, look, they lost two coordinators. They thought they did. Look, offensively, this should not have happened.
Part of their leadership.
Offensively, they shouldn't have lost a step because they had everybody back. The guy knows Jalen Hurts. That offense shouldn't have skipped a beat.
Maybe that hurt it.
Maybe, I don't know. But the defense certainly wasn't.
But you know what I mean? Maybe having a guy you're too close to
maybe, I don't know.
As your boss or your main partner.
I don't know. I mean? That offense was not the offense I saw last year. And all the same parts. Save for the running back, who was supposed to be an upgrade. Nothing else changed. So I don't get it.
But again, they didn't run the ball enough. Same thing that Miami did.
They didn't, and they had plenty of chances. Now look, Tampa Bay has a good defense.
But DeAndre Swift was running against that defense.
Yeah. Tampa Bay has a good defense. They could have stuck with it. They were in the game long enough to stick with it.
Yes, they were in the game till the fucking third quarter.
In the third quarter is when Tampa Bay finally pulled away. Yeah.
Because they shouldn't have been
because they held them to field goals, and when they weren't holding the field goals, Tampa Bay was dropping the ball over the yard.
Exactly.
And it wasn't Baker Mayfield's fault because these balls were hitting people in the hands.
Yes.
I mean, so it's like, look, the thing is, he threw for 337, and they were like 7 drops. What could he have thrown for? Yeah. Okay, so
they were like balls that were going to go for.
2 of them were touchdowns. One was right in the end zone when the guy got tackled. They didn't call the pass interference when he tackled him, and then the ball went through his hands.
How did they not call that play? It was the most obvious.
It was obvious.
Like 2 guys on the field. Your eyes went right to it. He tackled him around the ankles.
Yeah, it was obvious.
Somehow the ball still hit him right in the hands.
I mean, Philly's got a hell of an offseason ahead of them. Dude. Because honestly, they've got to examine everything. They really do. Because you don't collapse like that. No. It's never happened before. And I don't know whether you fire the coach or not, but you got to get a GM in there who has a plan, a direction. You got to get a defensive coordinator. And I got news for you: you better be drafting 2nd and 3rd level players in the draft because your offense has the pieces. Now you got to find an All-Pro center because, by the way, that's a big loss. And he called that one too. Kelsey,
he's been teetering every year for the past couple of years. So I'm in the NFC East.
The NFL is losing an all-time great, and tip of the cap to Jason Kelsey, who's
absolutely great,
6-time All-Pro. He was a 6th-round draft pick. Sounds like a guy I know. Won a Super Bowl at my expense in 2017. Damn near won a second one. He should have, but the coaching staff pissed that one away. But he's an all-time great, and good news for you, they're not going to be able to replace him very easily. So if
they do, I'll be pissed.
I don't think they're going to be able to because that kid's that good. But the first pick should be
dude.
If it's not middle linebacker who crushes everything he eats or shut down corner, it better be the center.
It's rare you see a 1st-round center though.
Yeah, that's right.
But
true.
But I would say this: like last year, watching how dominant Philly was, all I could think as a Giants fan is like, damn. They are going to be this good
for
the next 10 years. Yeah. And what you just said when we were talking about Miami and Kansas City,
you don't know.
You said you never know.
And that
was why we transitioned to this game because
the
Eagles went from they literally outplayed Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Should have won,
but found a way to lose.
It.
And now you're looking at them like, damn, when are they getting back?
They look in more disarray than the Giants do.
Without a doubt. And I think they look worse than the Cowboys.
They did well.
As bad as the Cowboys looked, the way the Eagles collapsed was pretty I felt bad for the Eagles.
As bad as the Eagles collapse was, it was coming. We saw it throughout the regular season.
That's true.
I talked him out of that picking them.
You did.
Okay.
I texted you. You didn't respond. I said, thanks for talking me out of picking the Eagles.
I'm your friend. That's what I do. I look out for you. Even at my own expense, because it cost me. I should have said, yeah, go with them, go with them.
Well, the thing is, this whole year, I've been looking at them like last year's team.
And you said that.
And they haven't been last year's team.
No, they have not for quite a while. They have never been last year's team.
Not since they lost in the Super Bowl.
I mean, but look, we're going to close this segment with the only way we should, and that is how about them fucking Cowboys? How about them fucking Cowboys? How about them Cowboys, America? Oh, wait, America. Not America's team, America's joke. I want to be clear on this. It's America's joke, and somebody finally said it on the air. The problem with this team is Jerry fucking Jones. He keeps getting in the way. I don't want to hear about all the talent he's accumulated. It's not about that. He's got the money. He'll spend it. That ain't the problem. The problem is it's Jerry's world. They even call the damn stadium. It says AT&T on it, but it's Jerry's world. Jerry's world. Stephen A. Smith even says it on the air.
So how are you saying he's causing?
He needs to step the fuck back and shut the fuck up. Every fucking game, he's the only owner in the league that holds a press conference after every fucking game. Do you know that? Every fucking game. It's all about Jerry and what does Jerry think and what's Jerry going to do about this and Jerry doing that. Jerry putting up with this. Oh, Jerry better think about that.
So are you saying that creates something wrong with the culture that creates this?
Those players have a level of pressure on them that nobody else understands.
Because the owner's all in the
And
face.
it's all self-inflicted. And by the way, that's why people root against you, because your egomaniac, fucking narcissistic owner, okay, just makes you want to hate him. And he might be a great guy. I don't know.
So is that what Dallas fans do? They try to take on the personality of him?
They just think everybody loves and hates us. I'm like, they don't hate you. They hate your owner. Because your owner's a dickhead who every year it's all about you. And by the way, never takes responsibility for anything. Never. And
sounds like a cowboy.
And by the way, would never doesn't. You want to know why you can't get a good coach? Because no real coach will have nothing to do with him. Bill Parcells didn't last 2 years. He didn't want to deal with his shit. And by the way, here's the latest delusional fucking fairy dust Dallas Cowboy fans. Bill Belichick to the Cowboys? Are you on fucking crack? Are you on fucking crack, America? Thank God for Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is really getting in my good graces lately. I don't know if it's planned, but he's got some agenda. He must have. Because he's literally going, these two egos in the same room? You think
Shannon Sharp said that?
Yeah, this was all Shannon Sharp. You think, now I've been saying this forever,
Yeah,
but fucking Shannon Sharp literally he goes, you think Jerry Jones would hold a press conference and Bill Belichick is going to sit back and let that happen? Oh, no. And you think Bill Belichick's going to pick the groceries and Jerry Jones is going to sit back and see all that? You think that's going to happen? Because that's what it would take for those two to work together. No fucking way. No fucking way. The guy couldn't even admit he was wrong when he put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor when he had the chance to fall on the sword and get everybody on his good graces again, and he couldn't fucking admit he was wrong. When he had the perfect opportunity. And you know what? People would have loved him for it. What do you know? Holy shit, there is a ticker in there. It's not all about his ego. But he blew it, just like he blows everything else. And as I said to my brother,
what are you talking about?
When he put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor, he could have admitted, I should have done this a long time ago, and he didn't fucking do it. He said, you inspire me, but he never said what he should have said.
It was like I said on that show, it was like you could tell he wanted to say it, but for some reason refused. It was, you inspire me. Yeah. I thought you should know that. It's like, no, motherfucker.
No.
You fucked up a great thing. You fucked up a great thing.
You fucked up a great thing.
And you regret it. That's what you needed to say.
You should have said I was wrong.
I'm sorry.
I was wrong. You should have shed a tear.
Exactly.
Should have done this 20 years ago. Give the man a long fucking hug where you both start crying and the world fucking melts. And then you know what, Jerry? You're America's sweetheart. Everybody fucking loves you. That's all you had to do. But you couldn't fucking do it, could you, Jerry? No. And that's why you're sitting here now fucked. Oh, boy,
and because as big as Tom Landry and all that shit was, Jimmy Johnson was as vital a part of building what the Cowboys' legacy is as anybody in that organization has ever been.
In the history of that organization.
Yeah. So to honor him but not go all the way, it's just like, dude, you got issues.
You half-assed it.
You're like a father that refuses to tell his son, I love you, because what? You're fucking hard ass?
Yeah. You're like a Bill Belichick.
Get your head out of your ass.
You're Bill Belichick. Okay.
But here's the real question though. What the fuck do you do? Because
what can you do?
Because you can move on from Dak. Okay. Who you bringing in there that's going to win you 12 games a year?
Who cares? You've won 12 games 3 years in a fucking row. It doesn't matter.
I know, but
the Texans have won 10, and the Texans are still playing, Tom.
No, but okay. Who's going to win you 10 games every year?
Who's going to get you in the playoffs? What you're trying to say to me?
Yes. Okay. And that's my thing. How have you ever seen a team win a division, get to the playoffs for how many years in a row, and then go, you're losing in the first round. Cut the quarterback.
I'm glad you brought this up because this is a fair question. If you're not going to extend him because he's 1 year left on his deal, because I wouldn't pay him $60 million. No. That'd be fucking crazy. You could trade him for a quarterback swap. You could do that.
Like a Jared Goff, Matt Stafford
like that. You
situation.
could do something like that, but you got to find a dance partner.
So you wouldn't do it for picks?
No, because you don't know. You got to get a proven commodity. Uh-oh.
What about Justin Fields?
Oh, my God. He was one. You know what the other one was? God help me. Kirk Cousins.
Well, Kirk Cousins isn't on a team.
I'm saying
he's a
you
free
could do
agent.
Sign and trade with Minnesota. They could sign him to
That's true.
and do it that way.
Oh man, that would be interesting as fuck.
I'm saying that's the other one.
That
I
would
definitely
actually
think
work for both teams.
I think it would work for both teams.
Get Dak the fuck out of Dallas.
Yeah, you get him for a year and then see what he does. If we want to extend him,
Right.
you can extend him. And
Get him out of Dallas.
Get him out
because
of Dallas.
maybe that's his issue.
I don't. He's not the only one. I think that the whole team, when you get boat raced like that, everybody pooped themselves. Where was Micah Parsons? All that yapping. Oh, where the fuck was he when the lights got bright again? CeeDee Lamb.
His first half was not great.
No.
And his body language, you looked like. Were they mad at each other? Maybe they got frustrated mid-game.
He was frustrated. I mean, there was 27-0 before they blink. I mean, look, the thing is this. That team, and I said this to Pete 10 years ago. I said it 5 years ago. I said it 2 years ago. I said it again. I even said it on the chat. Until this motherfucker dies, Dallas ain't winning shit. They ain't winning shit. Because he can't do the one thing he needs to do, which is step back. Let's be seen, not heard. You can be in your box all game long. Don't rush down for the fucking cameras when you win. And by the way, he set this team up to fail. This is the best team we've had in 28 years. He said that in the middle, like with 3/4 of the season gone. After San Fran boat raced you? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
The fuck you say
you're
that?
right. It's better than the fucking team that won 3 out of 4.
Yeah, it's the best team we've had in 28 years. No, it isn't.
Yeah, when you had fucking Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin.
Shut the fuck. I mean, just
who was Who was the other guy? Darren Harper.
Deion Sanders was on the last
Sanders.
team. Yeah, I mean,
who was the other receiver? Was it Harper?
Oh yeah, Alvin Harper. He was
Alvin
filthy.
Harper.
Jay Novacek, the tight end.
I mean, give me a
Moose Johnson, the fullback.
Yeah.
They
That
were
offensive
fucking,
line.
They were the greatest offensive line in NFL history.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the greatest offensive line.
This is the best.
Yeah, this
team.
team's as good as that. No, it's not.
Well, I mean, I guess that was,
Michael Irvin.
Well, I guess that was 30 years ago. So maybe in the last 20 years, maybe
Michael Irvin and Emmett Smith and Troy Aikman had balls big enough to come in a dump truck. And everybody downplays Troy Aikman. You think of another quarterback that could have handled two egos like that and got them to play together. Troy Aikman was a man. He was a fucking stud. And you know why he didn't have more touchdowns? Because Emmett fucking Smith was his tailback. Otherwise, he'd have thrown more touchdowns. When they boat raced Buffalo, he threw 4 fucking touchdown passes in the Super Bowl when they boat raced him in the Super Bowl. Okay, don't tell me Troy Aikman couldn't fucking throw the ball. Oh, he could. Okay,
and I will say this. Even though sometimes when him and Joe Buck are calling a Giants game, I get annoyed, especially a Giants-Cowboys game because it feels like they're rooting for the Cowboys. Yeah. I do really like Troy Aikman on the game.
He's as neutral as they can be. He is the polar opposite of Tony Romo.
Yeah.
I can't stand Romo. Romo acts like he wrote the playbook.
No, that's
just like,
that's the problem. And you know, I have to be honest. I think.
See, you listen to you made the point. You listen to Aikman. This is good analysis. He's like Kirk Herbstreit.
Yes.
He's good. But then you listen to Romo, and Romo knows his shit. I'm not saying he doesn't.
But that's all he's trying to let you know.
It's like he keeps trying to read you his resume. Like,
He's right.
You know, we saw you in the playoffs dropping the ball on the extra point that would have beat Seattle. We've seen you. We know you were there.
But here's my thing: is like if I were doing play-by-play, or not, he does color commentary.
Yeah.
But I could see myself falling into that trap of like going, oh, they're lined up like this. Look like this is coming. Yeah. Because sometimes we'll do that when we're watching.
Yeah.
And there is a sense of ego about it because you're trying to
guess
the play.
Well, first of all, you're trying to tell the audience something they may not know.
I know.
Which most of the time is true, by the way.
But the real thing of being a color commentator is allowing
the play to happen,
allowing the game to speak for itself, and then
you react to it.
Tell the people why it happened, how it happened. You know, always trying to say, oh, it looks like, you know, watch this. It's going to be a quick slant across the middle. They're going to have a guy run a deep out. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'll see it.
Let the play happen, and then tell us what went right and what went wrong, who got it right and who got it wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. And Aikman does that with unflailing ability.
He does that great.
He really does. So, look, I am loving this, obviously, because another year that disgusting, nauseating fan base going splat. And they were at home. They were a 7-point favorite. Nobody saw this coming. I thought Green Bay would keep it close. I knew their offense could score on them. I just didn't think the defense would do what they did. Okay, I didn't think they were going to turn him over twice, and I didn't think that was going to happen. Okay, I had Dallas win that game I had Dallas winning like 45-31 is what I thought was going to happen. It went the other way around.
That would have made sense.
It went the other way around.
But it wasn't, but the fact that it was that close is kind of a lie. It wasn't like
I thought they would stay with them, but they couldn't stop them ultimately.
No. I'm saying the fact that Dallas made it a 2-score game.
Oh, that was, it wasn't
it's
that
a lie.
close.
Like,
it wasn't that close.
They lost by 6 touchdowns. That's what it felt like.
It was 48-16 when they pulled the starters. I mean, Green Bay started taking people out. It was over.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was over. So, I mean, look, no, that final score is not indicative. And don't get fooled by Dak's 403 yards, and bulk of which came in garbage time when Green Bay had their backups in there on defense. No, I'm not listening to that crap. Okay, the bottom line is Dallas is at a serious crossroads right now.
They are.
They got a serious problem.
Kirk Cousins thing.
I'm saying, if I am Jerry Jones, I'm not talking about extending this guy. I'll get Cousins in here on a 1-2 year deal to see what he does. Because it's short money. If he fucks up, he's out in 2 years anyway. Dude. But if you want to turn around and contend next year, you've got to get an established quarterback here. Yeah. And he's probably the most. He's been to the playoffs. He's experienced. He still has a good arm. He's going to have a ton of weapons. He can run that offense. He's got a ton of. He's always had a ton of weapons. He's always put up numbers. So that ain't going to be the problem. Okay, to me, it's him. I like the Fields thing, but Chicago would never do that. Chicago would never take a 10-year vet with that team. They're either going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. or they're going to draft the quarterback from USC. The quarterback, they're going to draft him.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, they're going to draft him. If they don't get Marvin Harrison Jr., they're taking this because they're taking that quarterback.
No, you're right. They don't want an old quarterback.
They don't want an old quarterback back.
Well, maybe Minnesota doesn't. But the thing is with Minnesota, it's like if you're Dak, wouldn't you be kind of okay with? Think about that offense.
If I was Dak Prescott, I would do anything to get out of Dallas. Honestly, you know why he stuck around? Because it's the title, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Right.
And he's always
always in the news.
And he's
everywhere
always
you
spoke
go.
About the position. Like
they
that.
Talk about him as much as they used to talk about Michael Jordan, and he ain't Michael Jordan. No. I swear to God, I've never seen a team that has sucked for this long get this much press. It's the Baltimore Ravens, who have been wire to wire awesome. They barely talk about them. Yeah. Why? Why aren't we hearing more about the Baltimore Ravens? Okay.
Pro.
Oh, because
can we go pro? Sorry.
Yeah, we can go pro. This is Kansas is doing what they're doing. They're laying the wood to Oklahoma State, and they're doing it in Norman, by the way.
I'm sorry, you were saying they never talk about the Ravens, even though they've been in first place the entire. Oh no, that's the early game, isn't it?
Let's see if it's hold on. See if it goes to the second one. Sometimes it does this. There it is, right there. Yeah, there it is. The thing is, they talk about the cow. I can't stand this. This is what. And by the way, this is the other reason America's mad about America's joke and relishes in the defeat, because we don't want to hear about them.
They get all the coverage.
Yeah, they get all the coverage. No one wants to fucking hear about them. I don't give a fuck about the Cowboys. Wake me up when they're in the Super Bowl. Until then, shut the fuck up. I don't care about it.
If you're a perennial powerhouse, then you should be talked about.
And they're not.
They're not. Because they haven't gotten.
Give me a fucking break. I mean,
they've gotten past the first round once. Or twice in the past 20 years.
Twice, I think. They're 5-13 in their last 18 playoff games. They have not got past the divisional round more than this is in the past 28 years. They're 5. They've been to 18 playoffs. They're 5-13. Wow. They haven't been to a conference championship once. They are America's joke, and I'm sick and tired of them getting with this label. Which, by the way, no one in America gave them this label except for some stupid ass announcer. And that's stuck. Like, you're fucking kidding me. If I said something like that, it fucking wouldn't get past the flush of your toilet.
That's because all their obnoxious fans blurted out.
I know. And by the way, that's the other reason why you take it up the tailpipe every January by everybody. Because you keep saying you're something that you're not. No one thinks you're America's team. We spend more time laughing at you than anything else. You're America's joke. That's what you are. And as long as that owner's breathing, you'll still be America's joke, because he'll never do the right thing.
But
he'll never do the right thing.
I'll tell you, he won't. No.
He won't.
I'll tell you this. No, he's going to have to
die or sell the team.
Yeah, or he's not going to be able to be within his what do you call it?
Comfort zone.
No, he's going to lose his faculties, maybe. No, that means you're shitting yourself.
Yeah. Well, he's 81.
Like if he were to have some sort of Alzheimer's thing,
and then you hear, look, I'm not wishing death on the man, but then you hear them on Get Up. Jerry's 81. He doesn't have much time left. I'm like, wow, there goes impartial out the window. Give me a break.
Well, I just don't know why dude, he's old enough. Enjoy your life. Just watch your team.
Walk away.
Yeah,
you're a multi-billionaire.
By the way, your sons, and actually his sons and his daughter, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah,
they've been running personnel and shit, or at least
they know what they're doing.
They're running the people who run personnel.
They get the people
that
right.
Team picks great fucking players.
Dallas is
every year.
This is the other thing, that Dallas is not losing because of lack of talent.
No,
not at all.
It's everywhere.
They have a top 3 roster in the league.
It's everywhere.
You want to talk about how they're lighting the tail up front? That's the one mistake they've made. They're susceptible to the run, and Green Bay knew it. And Aaron Jones, who everybody forgot about because he missed 6 games, but he was healthy and he ran over, around, and through them all game long.
Yeah.
And this is why I wanted to pick Green Bay, but I didn't know what their defense. I didn't think their defense would hold up, and they did. And that's why I didn't pick them. But I said it was going to be a game, and oh boy, was it ever. So I mean, we're going to close quickly. Look.
Got to talk about the Lions. Right?
We have to talk about the line. Well, let's we'll close with the Lions because that's historic.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Congratulations to the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who did fight back. And if that kid didn't throw a pick in the end zone, it would have been a tie game in the fourth quarter.
It took him a while to get out of his shot.
And for the record, that fourth down on Pickens was pass interference. It was pass interference, and even Tony Romo was like, they should have called that. The 4th and 5 when they went for it, Pickens goes in the slant. The guy wraps him around and then brings him down as the ball's getting there, but he already has hands on him before he got off the line.
Oh, is that when they brought in the replay guy and he goes, well, it's got to be egregious. It's really got to change.
Yeah, and they show it from the end zone camera, which he didn't discuss. He didn't see. And
he saw it. They always bring in that guy to fucking just
they showed the replay from that angle after he made the comment.
They had already showed it.
Well, I can news
because I remember
you don't get more egregious than that.
When he said it, I rolled my eyes because I was talking about this, I don't know if it's last week or the week before. Every time they bring in that stupid ref expert, he just backs what the ref said.
The thing is, when that replay got played, Tony Romo was like, I don't know what he must not be seeing this angle because that's egregious.
Right.
It should have been called, and Romo stood by it, and Romo was right about that.
Yeah.
It should have been called.
Because before the play, Romo said that was pass interference. Yep. Then they brought the guy on. Yeah. He said it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. Then they showed
that end zone camera, and I'm like, that's totally pass interference. And I'm like,
but you didn't need that end zone camera. No. Romo knew it from watching it.
Yeah, he knew it, and he was right.
Yeah.
But when they showed that angle, you're like, oh my god, that's egregious.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
No, you could tell.
Now, look, that doesn't mean Pittsburgh would have tied it up, but it was 24-17, and they get the first down.
There was also a terrible review that resulted in a play stands on that fumble.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Yeah, that was bad.
Freiermuth fumbles the ball on the sideline. Yep. A Buffalo Bill guy jumps on it, slides out of bounds with the ball. And they go, play stands. Yeah. No irrefutable evidence.
Yeah. Look pretty irrefutable.
Tell me who the fuck is refuting it.
I don't know. But once again, officiating mars a game and don't let the players decide it because they didn't again. Anyway, Buffalo moves on. Casey goes to Buffalo. That should be a Donnie in the Brook next week in Buffalo. We'll talk about that one Friday night. Lastly, congratulations to the Detroit Lions for breaking a 32-year drought. And a Donnie, that was the best game of the weekend by far.
But not close.
And the Rams, tell you what, I would not be surprised if Detroit's in the conference finals. As much as I like Tampa Bay, Detroit, that was a medal game. The Rams were coming. The Rams were playing well. They beat a good team that was playing well. And it went back and forth. And I'm telling you, that was the best game of the weekend by far. And I think Detroit, we'll talk about it Friday night, but I really like Detroit's chances to get to the conference championship game because they're going to be at home again. And I tell you now, as good as I like Tampa Bay's defense, but this Detroit team, there's something special about
they're legit.
They're legit.
To me, watching that game, it made me excited for the possibility of Niners-Detroit because I think Detroit can play with them.
Offensively, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And because to hold up against that Rams offense like that, that was good. Yeah. That was really fucking good. Those guys, they got talent on every level.
For a while there, it looked like it was going to be 41-38, and then both defenses adjusted.
And they locked down a little bit.
Both defenses did. The Rams defense didn't yield either. No. I mean, that came down to 1 point.
But for the time being, when they were both scoring, Detroit scored right with
them, which they were gonna. Their offense is that good.
And Jared Goff didn't flinch.
Nope.
And at the end of the game, they had him throwing the ball when they could have just run it out a few times and then we'll punt. Nope.
They weren't giving the ball back because they knew. You don't give that. Matthew Stafford's a Hall of Famer. You're not giving him one more chance.
Nah.
You saw what happened in Tampa Bay 2 years ago. Yeah. Don't give him that was smart, and kudos to them for doing. So that sets up a great game. Dan Campbell's good.
He was on their 0-16 team. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. I found that out the other day. Actually.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. So, hey, congratulations again to Detroit. They got something to talk about, and they're going to have a great opportunity this week to win again and right another wrong. And again, I'm happy for Tampa, too, because obviously Brady retires. Everybody thinks it's over, and God bless. Good for Baker Mayfield.
Baker fucking Mayfield.
Come back.
You know what? I forgot. I was going to save this for 2 cents, but I think I should say it now.
What?
I talked a lot of shit about Baker this year. Not really. I didn't talk a lot of shit.
You weren't the only one.
I just, whenever it came time to pick, I would say, I like this guy better than Baker Mayfield. But my God, to follow Tom Brady.
That's the hardest thing ever.
No, you're not following Patriot Tom Brady.
No, not that guy.
You're following Tom Brady on his way out.
45-year-old Tom Brady.
So it's not quite the same.
But he did win a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Not like Mac Jones, okay? It's not like Mac Jones.
Mac Jones has the tougher job.
But to follow Brady. And really, you didn't they didn't want you to follow him.
No.
They were like, oh, we've got this guy Kyle Trask. Why don't you come in and compete with him?
Compete for him. He beat him out.
Of course, he beat him out.
Beat him out because he's tough.
Yeah, and Kyle Trask hasn't been in the league.
Look, I'll say it again. I don't know what would have happened with Cleveland had things remained, but I'll tell you, I would love Baker Mayfield with that Cleveland team. I would love to have seen a healthy Baker Mayfield with that team and see what he would have done with it. And I'm not knocking Tampa because they could go into Detroit and win. They got a defense. They got another. They're capable of winning that game. That's going to be a great game. Tampa's for real. Don't shit yourself. Tampa's a good team. This is not going to be a cakewalk for Detroit. But that should be a hell of a game. We're going to have many games to pick. We're going to come back segment 2 real quick. We're going to talk NBA. Knicks, we're going to talk about your boy.
Brunson?
Yeah, no. Randall. What he did, we got to talk about this. That still is not. Do these guys not understand that everything is on camera today? Like everything you do, if you flush a toilet, it's on camera. Okay, it's unbelievable. And he acted like the world wasn't watching.
He does that.
He does this, and it doesn't bode well for him or them. He better clean it up. But we'll talk about that in segment 2. Celtics got a big one Friday night with the Denver Nuggets. We will preview that in segment 2. Also, plus they won in Toronto last night.
It's going to be a quick one.
It's going to be a quick one.
Fucking toes.
We're going to be quick. We're back. Segment 2.
Oh dear.